it's me, Julia. If you've watched any of my recent videos, you might have seen that I'm currently illustrating The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen. That is a personal project, so I'm not commissioned to do that. It's just me loving to draw and really trying to get better at illustration. And yes, the illustration I want to color today is this drawing here. This was done with pencil on real paper, as you can see, and I scanned that in and I want to give it some color, and I'd like to take you along and share which brushes I use and maybe some of the thought processes that go into my coloring process. So grab a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you like and watch me coloring in Procreate. Okay, so here you can see the stack I've created with all the illustrations I've done so far, and this is the Snow Queen. And like I said, I already got rid of the background here, at least of most of it, but as you can see, there are still some grainy bits which I will get rid of in a minute. I also put this background here so to better judge which color I want to use, because this is the background that will be in the actual double page spread that I've already created. And I think I'll just quickly going to show you. So this is that here. This is the Snow Queen I've got right now. And I'm still thinking that I might want her standing. So I created this alternate version here. And this is just kind of a dummy. It's not really done very well here. So I did that so I could better judge if I wanted to have her standing or sitting. And I think what I will do right now, because I'm quite unsure about the color of her coat, so I kind of feel I want it to be pink, honestly. But then I feel that doesn't go well with the Snow Queen, so she has to be some kind of cool tone. So I might be using a very cool pink. Like if you look at this, so here's a little bit of pink here. I will just color pick that from the background. And then I will use the grit and grain block. This is a Lisa Glance brush. It's one of my favorite brushes of hers. And I set all these up in a quick, so these are the brushes I use quite a lot. And I set all of them up in a quick menu. And I've got a video on my YouTube channel which tells you how to do that. I will link it somewhere down in the description. So let's just see if where is she here? If I were to use some kind of pink, so I will do that on a new layer, and I will just paint over this blue with this pink, which obviously won't be working here very well because I will cover the line work, but it's just so I get a feel for the color and if I maybe like that one. But I'm not quite sure. I think that gets lost. So I will just try one other option, and that is the color I've used for this Snow Queen here, which is actually it's more kind of green. We'll just put that here as well. Maybe make that a bit more bluish. Let's see, a bit more like this. Though I feel that's way too saturated. Okay, then maybe just from afar, compare the different colors. So that's this greenish pink. Then I have this kind of pinkish purple. And then just this blue. So I'm quite sure I won't be using this green. I might either go with this or this option here. I honestly don't know. So maybe I'll just go with the blue for now. So I think the blue I've used is actually this one here. Though again, I'm not quite sure. I will just go back and color pick that here. Maybe from here. Yes, so this is at least similar to this blue. Okay, so like I said, what I'm going to do first is to get rid of the little bit grainy bits here. So I'll go to the Snow Queen layer, and I will do that by using the selection tool. And I will start out by using the freehand selection tool and just selecting larger areas here, and then do a three finger swipe and just go cut. And I will do that here as well. So that already gets rid of lots of these little paper particles there. Now, and for the rest, I will be using a mask, a layer mask. So I go to mask, and then I will draw on it with black and the dry ink. And now what happens is that everywhere I draw, the color vanishes. The benefit is that if I disenable the layer mask, I will get it back. That's why I like using a layer mask. Yes, and I will speed that up for you and see you in a minute. Okay, so yes, I think I'm done. I will do one last thing now. I like my line work to be a bit on the brownish reddish side, and I will do that by going to curves, and then this is already on red, and I will just up that a little bit so the line work does look a bit warmer, although I won't do that too much here because obviously the Snow Queen is a cold figure and I don't want that to be, I don't want the red to be too dominant. I just realized that there is still something I have to get rid of, and that's this part here, and I will just use the eraser because this is between her arm and her body, so there should be a gap. Okay, oh, there's another gap I missed. This one here. Okay, I think I'm done now. Maybe I'll get rid of this as well. It looks weird. Yeah, okay, so I will be creating a new layer, and then I will just start, maybe I'll start with her skin color. And for skin color, I often use this or this kind of light pink. And I think I will go with a very light color here because I want her face to be quite frozen or waxen or whatever you might call it. And yes, what I have to do is to set this layer here to linear burn, otherwise the color won't shine through. And because I need one white layer beneath that, so if I set that to linear burn, you can see then that mixes with the background here. Doesn't matter whether I take this or this one. And so what I often do is I will just duplicate this one here and then go to Hue, Saturation, Brightness, make it completely bright. So I've got this white layer beneath now, and the background won't matter anymore. So I create another layer and then use this light pinkish tone, and I will use the Grit and Grain block again from Lisa Glance and just color that here. I forgot to set that to linear burn. So now I did, and here the color shines through. So what I've recently started doing is that I've got this color here, and then I will try to add some variation here. So I make that a tad darker and then add a bit of darker color where I feel there are shadows or where it just fits. Maybe even a bit darker here. Add that here and here. Make it a bit. And this is something I'm still experimenting with. I feel since I already do quite a lot of shading with my pencil, I don't need it to be too, I don't need the color to be too, what's the word for that? Too variable? I think that's not the right word. I don't need there to be too much variation in the color. I'll just go with that more pinkish tone here for her cheek, because I feel there's already quite a lot of variation due to the fact that I've done quite an extensive line work. It's not extensive, but you know what I mean. So there's already a lot of shading here with the line work I've done. So maybe make her cheek a bit more pink and also her lips. And put some of the pink here around her eyes. I've just talked about how in another video, which is not on my channel yet, that I wanted my Snow Queen, picking a white here, blending that a bit, that I wanted my Snow Queen to actually not look like an evil person, but more like a sad person, because to me she has always been very sad, because she's probably very alone in her ice cold world. That's why she wants to get little Kai to keep her companionship. I might do the lips a bit darker, and I think then I'm already done here with her face. Okay, so then I'll go on and add some color to her coat. And yes, I'm still not quite sure. I think I'll go with the blue. I think it was this tone here. Even though I like the pinkish tone as well. But maybe I will just start out with this one. And if I really don't like it, I can change it later on. So I obviously, what I could do is, if I now, let's see, yes, I created a new layer. If I now use this blue here, I could go and set that to, what's the word for this? Set it to alpha lock. I was looking for that word. And if this is set to alpha lock and I drag in some kind of pink here, that will change the color. So I might do that later on if I feel that I want her. I really like the pink as well. If I feel I want her coat to be pink. So let's just go with that blue here. I have to disable the alpha lock, otherwise I can't paint on that layer. So I'm not being too particular here. I actually use this brush because it has this kind of messiness and built-in texture. Now, a way, if you wanted to do a quicker coloring, you could go with the selection tool and the color fill. I will just quickly show you here. This is on color fill, and if I tap that, then it looks like this. But I like my colors to be more messy and looking more handmade, so this is why I go with the brush. And also, I really enjoy this, especially with my new screen protector, where there is really a kind of scratchy, chalky feeling to me coloring now. I also don't mind the gaps too much, because one thing I can do is actually to clip that to the white here. We'll just do that. So anything that's, let me show you here, anything that's painted over the edge will then disappear because it's clipped to the actual form of the Snow Queen. We'll also clip her face. So there was one little color spot that disappeared there. Clipping mask. Okay, so let's go back here to the blue. Yes, and like I did before, I will now go and add color variation. So maybe a darker blue here, closer to the fur. Maybe here as well. This pencil is really this brush is really nice because it is very pressure sensitive. So this is me just drawing very lightly, and this is me putting on the color quite heavily. And this really helps with creating gradients. Okay, a bit of the darker blue here. And here, and especially beneath her arm, the blue would be darker because of the shadow that her arm casts there. And maybe also here and close to the fold. So, pick a new blue. This was the original, and maybe go lighter this time. Make that baby here. Just draw over it. Now, unfortunately, some of the nice texture here gets lost the more I paint over it. But I can get that back with different brushes later on. And maybe even a lighter blue. So, and maybe there's some light here on the top of her arm, and here as well. And I'm considering either making the pocket very dark or very light. So maybe I'll use a new layer for the pocket. Let's just see how it looks if it's very dark. And then have another one where it's more like kind of an off-white. Well, this is actually a bit too yellow, but I can change that later on. So, and then I just switch. I already feel that the color doesn't work at all, but this is too dark as well. So maybe reduce the opacity here. Maybe I'll just go with that kind of blue. I'll get rid of the white and I'll merge these two. So, and that's how I like it. Okay, so let's see. What about her? Oh, there's one part of the coat missing. That's this part here. Maybe one more time with the very light one here. It's always good to zoom out because it looks so different when you zoom in and then when you zoom out. I'll just go with that for now. Yes, so what about her gloves? Maybe I'll try to color them with a pink. Just see how that looks. Nah, I don't like that. Maybe I'll go with a very light blue. No, I think they need to be kind of the same color as her coat, but then I will be adding white because I'm not quite sure what I did here. There's this blue stripe here. I'll just cut that out and cut and paste. So, and this is now just the mittens. I will add another layer and use white, and let's see, I will use the dry ink and just color in the pattern here so it gets noticed a bit better. I feel the gloves need to be even darker, so I will just go and do use saturation brightness and darken them. Now you can't really tell they are gloves. Maybe like this. Not quite sure. Anyways, about her coat and the fur that I've got here. I honestly think I might leave it the color it is. I'm still thinking which color I want her hair to be. So I could, maybe I'll just try out the hair first. I'll go to the grit and grain again and just, I think I want some kind of, so these are already some colors I want my Snow Queen illustrations to have. I think I'll go with this brown. This could be, I think this is the brown I used on my other Snow Queen. And I'm very messy right now. I just want to see whether I like the color or not. It's quite warm, so I'm not quite sure whether that fits. I also really like if her hair is just white. Or I could also desaturate this here. Make it a bit brighter, so then that's just this very light brownish tone. Maybe I'll go with that. I will just pick the color here. It's actually kind of a light yellow. And I will just go and, where is the layer? And add the color here. It's a bit difficult to see. So this must be above the coat, because there is some hair on her coat here. And I think that's kind of a good compromise there. Something else is wrong. Why doesn't it show up here? Oh, because I'm on the eraser. That sometimes happens if you move your hand, that you get to the eraser. Not quite sure why. I think, to be able to really color in all her hair, I need to get rid of the distractions. I'm not quite sure right now how I'm going to do that. Oh yes, like this. No, that doesn't work because it's a clipping mask. Let me think. I'll just have to move that here and not make it a clipping mask anymore. Yes, and now it's a bit easier for me to see where I've already been and where I haven't with my light yellow hair color. Okay, so I'll enable all the colors again and the background. So this is her with this nearly white, slightly blonde hair. And yes, like I said, I think I will leave the fur just white. And what I have to do, I just realized, is to erase the blue here. So here is fur as well. Okay, I'm also not sure about her crown. I will just try to add, let me just make that a clipping mask again. I will just try to add some color. I really don't know which one. Maybe I will just go with the desaturated pink now. That's just, I can be, oh, if I make it a clipping mask, I can be very sloppy and just color like this. Oh no, I forgot. It will also color the hair here, so I can't be as sloppy as I want to be. So let's see. Does that look? No, that doesn't look good at all. Just maybe silver would be nice. Maybe a light gray. I don't have a light gray. So this is a new iPad, so I don't have a lot of palettes on there. Maybe I'll go and make that dark blue as well. Now I think her crown can't be dark. Can't really find a solution for that right now, so I'll maybe just go on and add a little bit of texture to her coat. So I always like using my alcohol ink stamps, and I've got a set of new ones which are a bit more translucent than the other ones, and especially like these two here. We'll go with this one. I set that layer to multiply, and I use the blue and make it a bit darker, and then I will just, oh, I forgot I have to put that on top of the blue for the coat. I will just tap here and duplicate it so it's a bit more visible. So this is the stamp, and then I will just try to find a nice place for it. Maybe somewhere here. And I think I don't want it to reach the little pocket here, so I will just erase it on top of the pocket. And then I will do another one on a new layer. Also use that, set it to multiply, and maybe just go with this one here. And I will also duplicate this so it is, oh, that's the wrong blending mode, that's why it doesn't come out. Let's see, multiply, duplicate, duplicate, pinch these together, and then I'll find a, so where can I put this one here? Maybe just, not quite sure whether I like that. I might put it here, but then still reduce the opacity a bit. And then I think I also want one white stamp. Go with white, and maybe use one of my other alcohol ink stamps like this one here. And this is quite a lot of texture, so I'll just go with that part over here. And because it has this weird cut-off border, because it was stamped on the edge of the canvas, it has this border. Now I have to smudge that a bit so it doesn't look too weird. Okay, and then another brush I always use is the, let's see, it's here in my quick menu, is the smudgy diamonds. So this adds little dots. Don't like the color of that blue. Multiply. I will always just add some of these, and again also with a lighter color, maybe a light gray. Just very few. So I think I might go with her this right now. I just realized I have to erase this stamp a bit here because it's reaching. Oh, and also there's some fur, which is blue. Haven't realized that before. Maybe I could just go with that version. So to get it into my other canvas, what I have to do is just to simply copy canvas. And then I'll go back to the illustration, and there is this other Snow Queen, which is my test Snow Queen. And I will just do a 3-finger swipe and go to paste. And then just make her smaller. And I will have to fit her in this carriage. But I think the colors could work. Let me just erase that here to get a bit better view of how it will look. And get rid of the other Snow Queen there. Oh, I can't. Okay, anyways, I have to get another sledge. So this is the Snow Queen and the sledge, so I can't get rid of her without getting rid of the sledge. But anyways, yes, I think I'm quite happy with the blue. So let me see, where is my Kai and Snow Queen? So this is, let me just put her here. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. And I mean, she doesn't get lost as much anymore, so that's already better. But my mom has to tell, she wasn't satisfied with the other one. So Mom, what do you think? Should I use this one here? Okay, so I think this video got a little bit longer than I intended to, but if you stuck around till the end, and if you want to go more in-depth into learning how to color your pencil drawings in Procreate, I've got a Skillshare class on my Skillshare channel, and I put a link down below in the description box. And if you use the link and you are not yet on Skillshare, you can get 1 3-month of Skillshare and not just take my class, but all the other lovely and wonderful classes there as well. Okay, I hope to see you soon. Bye!